Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Tirwan, a student of Magister Management, especially in Human Resources in Universitas Negeri Jakarta. Welcome to online seminar presentation of my thesis proposal. Today I'm honored to have this opportunity to present my seminar proposal for my upcoming thesis. My thesis is titled Effect of compensation and teacher quality on turnover intention through employee engagement as entrepreneurial variable at Islamic School in Tangerang Selatan. And the goals I hope to achieve with my proposed study, I look forward to your feedback and question at the end of my presentation. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to my thesis advisor, Professor Dr. Siti Nurjana SDM as a first advisor and Dr. Christian Wiredindi Waller as a second advisor. Your guidance, support, and expertise throughout the course of my research have been invaluable. I appreciate your willingness to share your knowledge and experiences and for always being available to answer my questions and provide feedback. To give you a brief overview of my thesis, I have three main objects from my thesis, proposal thesis. The first is background or introduction. Number two is literature review, and number three is research method. Let's move to the main presentation. The first is introduction. I have several background from my thesis and fact from the field. The first is human resources are one of the important elements in a company or institution, not only a private institution, but also government institution. HR is the driving force of other management elements, which include capital or money, technology to support the production process, method or strategy used to operate people, and so on. The second background is the COVID-19 pandemic is one of the main causes of employee turnover for approximately the last 2 years. In addition, turnover intention arises from the initiation of the employees themselves who want to resign or end their working relationship with the current company or institution. This is the result from research from global employee turnover. We can see in picture number one. This is increases from 2010 until 2018, and we can see research from global. And the other hand, we can see the table in the right. Indonesia has turnover rate number three between other countries in the world. I would like to share you my research on the topic of effect of compensation and teacher quality on turnover intention through employee engagement as intervening variable at Islamic School in Tangerang Selatan. My research question is, does compensation have a direct effect on turnover intention? The second is, does teacher quality have a direct effect on turnover intention? The third statement is, does compensation have direct effect on employee engagement? The fourth is, does teacher quality have direct effect on employee engagement? The fifth, does employee engagement have a direct impact on turnover intention? The sixth is, does teacher quality have an indirect effect on turnover intention with employee engagement intervening? And the last is, does compensation have indirect effect on turnover intention with employee engagement as intervening? And the main object of my thesis is number one is to test, to analyze, and to prove the direct effect on employee engagement on turnover intention. Number two is to test, to analyze, and to prove the direct effect of teacher quality in turnover intention. Number three is to test, to analyze, and to prove the direct effect of compensation on employee engagement. Number four is to test, to analyze, and to prove the direct effect of teacher quality on employee engagement. Number five is to test, to analyze, and to prove the direct effect of employee engagement on turnover intention. Number six is to test, to analyze, to prove the indirect effect of teacher quality on turnover intention with intervening employee engagement. And the last, my objective research is to test, to analyze, and to prove the indirect effect of compensation on turnover intention with intervening of employee engagement. Through this research, I hope to contribute to the field of human resources and add to existing body of knowledge. And the other background is from Gallup research. A study published by Gallup 2017 stated that in 2016 in Indonesia, there were 15% of employees who belong to the engaged group, while employees who were classified as not engaged were 75% and actively disengaged type employee were 10%. This show that majority of employees in Indonesia are classified not engaged, and there are indications that employees in Indonesia are stagnant, unwilling to develop themselves. And next, we have the interview data from the field. The result of brief interview with several HRD or parties representing the school we have visited show that the cause of employee turnover that occur are caused by several factors, not only based on compensation, employee engagement with the institution, but also due to other factors. These factors include following a spouse to another city, passing the CPNS or civil servant candidate, or ISN selection, or due to death. And from the fact from Republica Online, which state that in the second phase of the selection of government employees with work agreement or P3K, many private teachers participate and many were complained about by the administration of the education provider foundation who left their teacher to participate in the P3K teacher selection and migrated to public school. Although, according to host of representative commission, 10th member Abdul Hadi, private schools have better welfare level because their salary are covered by relatively more established educational foundation. In fact, by most of them have undergone teacher certification, which earn them high point when they join P3K teacher selection process. And the last is even in some school with compensation that doesn't match the city minimum wage or UMK, employees seem to be loyal to the school because there is a deep attachment factor with the owner. Next, we have benefit of my research. I have several benefit of my research for practically and theoretically. For, for practical, contributing to the development of science, especially in the field of human resources. The second is provide additional information contribution to researchers in the field of human resources, especially regarding increasing turnover intention. And the last is provide additional information contribution to schools that are the object of research in terms of employee engagement, teacher quality, compensation, and turnover intention. And as theoretically, the results of this study are also expected to be useful not only practically but also for the development of science, especially in the realm of human resources management. This research is expected to be a reference for future research, especially those related to research variable. And I have I have wise word from Imam Shafi'i. He said, knowledge will not be achieved except with preferences. Next, I will elaborate it on literature review, which is also crucial to my research because literature review is a critical component of any research project, as it helps us to identify the existing body of knowledge, identify gaps in the research, select appropriate method, and situate our research within the broader context of the field. The first of my literature review is turnover. Mobley said that turnover is usually defined as the voluntary termination of membership in an organization by individuals who receive monetary compensation for participating in that organization. Armstrong said that employee turnover or attrition is the rate of at which people leave an organization. It can be destructive and costly. Staffelbach on 2008 said that the movement of individuals across the membership boundaries of an organization to know for intention is the probability or desire of someone to move from his job within a certain period of time and is a prelude to the actual turnover. And the last from Sosa and Hennerberger, 2004, turnover intention can also be defined as a manifestation of probability or the possibility that an individual will replace his work in a certain period of the time. And this is the factor that affect to turnover. The first is individual and the second is organization. In individual, we have age, tenure, gender, education, and marital status. And from organization, we have performance, satisfaction, compensation, working condition, work weight, organizational commitment, and leadership. And this slide is said about turnover indicator. Why the people turnover intention? This is the indicator from turnover intention. The first is intention to quiet. The second is job search, and the third is thinking of quiet, just thinking. Next, we have about compensation. We have several theories from the first is from Dessler, the second from Marticchio and Sinambela. Dessler said employee compensation are a form of pay or reward going to employees and arising from their employment. Marticchio said compensation is defined as the reward monetary and non-monetary, that employees receive for performing their job. And Sinambela said compensation is the total of all reward given to employees in return for their services to the organization, the purpose of which is to attract, retain, and motivate employees. Next, we have purposes of compensation. We have moreover eight purposes of compensation. The first is cooperation bond, motivation, job satisfaction, employee experiences, ensuring fairness, discipline, union influences, and government influences. And next we have dimension and compensation indicator. Number one is direct compensation, and number two is indirect compensation. In indirect compensation, we have salary, bonus, and incentive. And in indirect compensation, we have insurance, allowance, and retirement. And we have literature review from teacher quality. This is several theory two from our expert or from the expert. The first from Kaplan and Owing. They said the teacher quality with regard to the input teacher bring to school, including demographic, aptitude, professional preparation, college major, SAT and teacher test score, teacher licensure and certification, and prior professional work experiences. And Dignas dan NPP number 74, a qualified teacher has at least four component competency. The first is pedagogic, professional, personality, and of course, social competency. Verisa in 2021, Indonesia, the quality teacher can be seen from the two aspects. The first is which relate to the welfare of teacher and the competency of teacher. In this slide, we have teacher indicator qualify. We got from the Gag and Berliner, which is in accordance with PP number 74, now 2008. The first is capable of encouraging learning to optimize their learning outcome. The second is dedicating time to understand learner. The next is capable of managing the learning process. Number four is having a sense of humor. Number five is able to make students comfortable in learning. Next is enthusiastic in teaching, being fair to every individual. And next, capable to encouraging learners to have a sense of responsibility. And the last is capable of using learning methods, strategic, and techniques in learning. There are difficult but nothing impossible to get the teacher qualified. And the last from our literature review is employee engagement. We have two definition from the expert. From Cruz, he said employee engagement is on employees' emotional commitment to the organization and its goal. This emotional commitment means that employees genuinely care about their job and company. They don't work just for a paycheck or just for a promotion, but work on behalf of the organization goals. And number two, theory from Messi et al., 2009. They said employee engagement is manifested as energy, involvement, and focused effort toward achieving organization goals. And next, we have employee engagement indicator. We have four indicators for employee engagement. The first is persistency. Persistency is the behavior that most clearly show that employee engagement is related to persistent in completing tasks. Number two is proactive, a critical characteristic of employee engagement. Employees tend to be proactive rather than reactive or worse passive. Next is role expansion. Expansion of tasks or roles. An important characteristic demonstrated is a willingness to accept different definition of a task. The definition may be the result of management initiative or maybe self-initiative. And the last is adaptability. Adaptive employee will help their company to anticipate and respond to change in the competitive landscape faster, more successfully, and at lower cost. And this is our hypothesis. We have several hypotheses from our research. This hypothesis is answered the research to question before. I have developed several hypotheses. My hypothesis based on literature review that described before. Hypothesis 1 is employee engagement has a direct effect on turnover intention. Hypothesis 2, teacher quality has a direct effect on turnover intention. Hypothesis number 3, compensation has a direct effect on employee engagement. Hypothesis 4, teacher quality has a direct effect on employee engagement. Hypothesis 5, employee engagement has a direct effect on turnover intention. Hypothesis 6 is teacher quality has an indirect effect on turnover intention with interpening employee engagement. And number 7 is conversation has an indirect effect on turnover intention with the mediation of employee engagement. And this is the research model from my hypothesis. We can see from this model, there are 7 hypotheses like I said before. And the last point from my thesis proposal is research method. In my research project, I use research method such as survey, interview, or lab study. This method allow me to collect data on about the variable or phenomena that I have researched. This is my research method. The first is unit analysis. Unit analysis I get from Islamic school in South Tangerang, and the scope is teachers in Islamic school in South Tangerang. The second is type of research, quantitative research with an analytical descriptive approach. The sample and population, the population is 2,223 respondents, and sample is 143 with probability sampling with sloping formula. And next is data collection technique. I use data collection method, field study, questionnaire and interview, and literature study. And the last is analysis technique, data analysis with PLSM, and measurement of outer and inner model. Indeed, after hardship, there is easiness, al-inshirah. In conclusion, my thesis aimed to provide a valuable contribution to the field of human resources. I believe that my research will provide new insight and perspective on turnover intention. And I am excited to share my finding with you all in the near future. Your encouragement and constructive criticism have helped me to grow as a researcher and have played in a significant role in shaping my thesis. I couldn't have completed this research without your constant guidance and encouragement. I would like also to extend my thanks to my thesis advisor and committee members for their invaluable feedback and support throughout this process. Without their guidance and expertise, this research would not have been possible. Finally, I look forward to any question or feedback you may have, and I hope that this seminar has provided the deeper understanding of my research and contribution to the field. Thank you for your attention all, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.